the channel. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome. Glad you can be here. Have to answer a question from one of my subscribers. Knowing that I'm a horror author, I was asked what my favorite horror books are. No particular order. Relic. It's from Douglas Preston, Lincoln Child. It's the first book of a series, and it actually introduces you to one of the best series characters ever, Agent Pendergast. Tremendous man. I think there's almost 20 novels in this series, and everyone is really enjoyable. So if you like series or series based on a character, check that out. Speaking of series, The Tomb is the start of the Repairman Jack series. This is my favorite author, F. Paul Wilson, and my favorite character as well. Repairman Jack is just incredible. This isn't horror, so to speak, but it is more, same with The Relic as well. It's more thriller / horror, and Wilson has created this whole secret history of the world. It has all these spokes that go out to different books. Again, Repairman Jack, favorite series character ever. Before the movie, I Am Legend. It was a book. This story is much better than the movie, although I did enjoy the movie. It's this book itself. It's basically a story inside. There's multiple stories in this book, but I Am Legend is in here. Again, another movie, Fight Club. This book is amazing. Fight Club, the movie is amazing. But this sheds a whole other light on the Fight Club narrative. Really good. Fellow Canadian Andrew Piper, the demonologist, is my introduction to Piper, and I fell in love with him immediately. Hell of an author. It's all about demonic possession and traveling all over the world. Pretty freaking cool. And the book that made me want to become an author, still my favorite book of all time, Salem's Lot by Stephen King. If you haven't read that, unfuck that right now and go buy this book. It's amazing. All right, so another thing subscribers have asked for is this track. It's called Lanterns. It's from Confucius MC. It features Sonnyjim, Verbz, and Jehst. As you guys know, man, I've got nothing but love for these cats, and I'm really excited to see how Verbz, the young cat, man, how he manages to keep pace with these guys. So without further ado, let's jump in. Give it a listen.
What's wrong with you two? Hold the Latin so the names show. Turn them this way.
Widescreen with a club, last beat from the woods, the good dreams of a trip, the nightmares can disturb. Wide angles, the life's gambles, hear a lot of shit, pretend to forget the wise rambles, just to crumble wisdom. Hollow feeling like something's missing, running 2 timelines from something's different. Herb vendors, serving up.
That was cool. For all you young cats, you have no idea what this was like, but back in my days when I was young, people just didn't have VHS players in their house, man. You had to go to the video store and rent that shit, put down like a $400 deposit, and you get these cases, man. They weighed like 50 pounds. And they had a thing like tracking. You had to play with the tracking to make sure the shit works. So you get a screen, or you get a clear, clear picture on the screen. And that right there, that sound, I know that's why they did it, but in the beat it has that distorted melody in the background. And when you rented a tape that was popular, that's been rented a bunch of times, you'd eventually get stretched out, and occasionally you'd get that stretchy type of sound that would come in, and it's like a warped, distorted type of thing. And they have the glitch through the screen, which is pretty cool. I'm digging this idea, man, that Confucius is getting at here about the fact, like, like sometimes, a lot of times in your life, you're given the right, or you're given a good advice, but you don't always take it, and you find yourself, not heeding the advice perhaps the way you should, and because of that, you find yourself going down the wrong path. And often it's like you don't think about it until you've done something you're going to regret or whatever, and then you kind of remember that crumb of wisdom that you were given, and then you're just like, if I'd only listened, I wouldn't be in this situation. But so far, man, I've heard Confucius a few times, and I'm really digging him on this. This melody and beat is pretty cool, and I'm digging his flow on this. My first introduction to him wasn't the best, and every time I've heard him since, he's impressed me more and more, and I'm impressed, really impressed with him right now. So let's go.
The nightmares can disturb, wide angles, the life's gambles. Hear a lot of shit, pretend to forget the wise rambles, just to crumble wisdom. Hollow feeling like something's missing. Running 2 timelines from something's different. Herb vendors, serving up canned weed. I'm laying low like Sam Seed, with the lantern in my hand to proceed through these dark tunnels and vast mazes. Penning world-class pages, bare pretenders, highly skilled mime artists. It's just a circus, watching who could climb fastest. The prime artist, the sage found my line reach.
I want to hear that again.
Penning world-class pages, bare pretenders, highly skilled mime artists. It's just a circus, watching who could climb fastest. The prime artist, the sage found my line reaches. My rhyme.
So is he talking about that thing like? He says, bare pretenders, highly skilled mime artists. It's just a circus watching who can climb fastest. I think I'm thinking. The first time I heard mime, I had got the wrong thought came into my head, but now I'm thinking it's just about. You just basically have a bunch of people pretending to be other people. Brings me back to that that track I did. I think was it yesterday? Man, I can't even remember. No, was it? I don't know. My day. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was Friday. When it was, man, as you said, you sound like another MC who sounds like, basically. So it's like it's a bunch of people who are miming each other, who are copying each other's style, and all fighting for their place atop, atop the throne, so to speak. And meanwhile, they're all just clones of each other and clones of a style that isn't worth shit. So I wonder if that's what he's getting at. When I heard mime the first time, I'm thinking about people being silent, and just watching the circus, without. But anyway, I think I'm right this time, but probably not.
Class pages, bare pretenders, highly skilled mime artists. It's just a circus, watching who could climb fastest. The prime artist, the sage found my line reaches. My rhyme book cause of divine thesis. I pen pieces, the left dense in the densest reaches. Never knowing what the center piece is, never knowing who the sentence reaches. Words manifest, some shit that you thought can become flesh. Strange outcome in my brain lay out for me.
Sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but I friggin' love that, man. 2 things on that. One is the manifesting. The truth behind it is the fact, like, if you can dream it, you can make it reality. But don't sit on your ass expecting it to become reality. I mean, you got to work very hard to get where you want to go. So your dreams, man. Make a dream. If you want it and you got passion for it and you got desire, you can make that come true. Also, the first bar about you never know who the sentence reaches. There's probably not an MC or any kind of artist out there who's had that one person, at least one person, reach out to them and say, man, I was in a really dark place and your words pulled me out. I was going to commit suicide, but you made me look at something a different way. So it's true, man. You never know. An artist writes for him or herself first, and you never know how that is going to be taken out there. But if you focus too much on that shit, then people don't get the authentic you, man. They get a version of you that isn't real. But if you write for yourself first and you put that shit out there, you're going to resonate with people, and people are going to connect with that. And everyone's going to react with those words differently. So that's pretty cool. I dig that.
Made a band play loud for me when I'm out. You be buy rolls, plush paper, Peter. I'm painting pictures of the rush the equator through my hazy eyes, where I swim in the confusion. The internet age where we live with the intrusion. I drive fast and talk slow. I'm sipping Bordeaux in Bordeaux. Kill the fox, caught me a couture code. Buongiorno, beach house in Borneo. Girl Scout cookie wax, smoking on the Oreo. I had to risk it for the biscuit. Dabbed it and dipped it. Put it in a Pyrex and whipped it. I necked the vodka, ate the lobster. Live long and prosper, flip the Oscar. I pull the ting like Go Gadget. Guerrilla tactics, you can feel the fiber of my fabric. Pop the pinger, shade the cocaine like ginger. Send it with the messenger Melinda. I got that firework like the 5th of November. Pull a brick out like Jenga, you betcha. Apply pressure, take you out like a stretcher. Vanessa, #1 selector.
I stare blind in disguise and watch time pass. And last fast, I know don't mind chance. Appreciating all the risks to be taken in eyes glance. Wonder if life's ours underneath the night stars. Asking which path to take while we find ours. Trance fate, run the race another day. For only slumber awaits, succumb to ways or rise above them.
Verbz comes on here hard, man. I love the way he's basically saying, like, stop and appreciate, stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Take a second to see the wonder in the world around you. Man. I'm digging his flow, man, on this beat too.
No, don't mind chance, appreciating all the risks to be taken in eyes glance. Wonder if life's ours underneath the night stars. Asking which path to take while we find ours. Trust fate, run the race another day. For only slumber awaits, succumb to ways or rise above them. Tired and stopping, the product of my environment rugged. We're young and stay fucking and juggling, wait, hugging the block. That ain't love them, I guess we chase what.
Man, when I interviewed Verbz, I was asking him about this fact is, if he goes out consciously to, bring that societal struggles and stuff into his verses, and he says not necessarily. He says where he lives, where he grew up. It's what he knows. But yeah, man, like he's right here. He's talking about like, trying to find that you're trying to find that path where you're still walking your path, and it's like right here, hugging a block that ain't love them. So it's like you're stuck in a situation, doing things that that keep you stuck in a situation, but there doesn't seem to be any other way out of that situation. So this is like this perpetual friggin' circle. And he says right here, I guess we chase what we were given. I mean, that's the thing, man. It's this circular thing that happens is if you feel like that's your only way to survive because that's what you were given, then oftentimes that's all you know and all you'll continue to do. So if you grew up in a situation where everyone that you looked up to was someone slinging rock on the corner or selling weed, and you see that they've got cash and they got a nice watch or maybe a nice car, and you look around you, you don't see any other opportunities, but you see this dude and you're like, well, there's my opportunity. And unfortunately then this, like, again, the cycle just keeps turning, man. I mean, and that friggin' barman hugging a block that ain't love them, that says it all, man.
Path to take while we find ours, trust fate. Run the race another day. For only slumber awaits, succumb to ways or rise above them. Tired and stopping, the product of my environment rugged. We're young and stay fucking and juggling, wait, hugging the block. That ain't love them, I guess we chase what we give and living day to day. In the same place we sinning and chase the place plagued with hate, jakes and villains. While I stay chilling with the same race, eighth billing. And some stay with it, trace to the young. Enabled by the funds that we you cradle in the slums. Let your cards on the table, still chased by all we done. Hey yo, my thoughts of.
There we go, man. See, that's what he's saying. And he's still hanging out with people who, even though he's found a way out, he still hangs out with people who haven't. And traits of the young, still believing what you're believing, that is kept you where you are, and I love that, man. Lay the cards on the table, still chase what we've been done. So it's like your past, man. I talked about the other day, is like no matter how fast you run, your past almost always catches you. You can't escape that stuff. You just have to find a way to deal with it, and find a way to understand it and learn from it.
And some stay with it, traits of the young, enabled by the funds that we all cradle in the slums. Lay your cards on the table, still chased by all we've done.
Hey yo, my thoughts off track with a 40 side the train wreck. Walking the razor blades edge with the brain dead, faded like a blank cassette in your tape deck. Surviving the jungle, best take heed and take check. Somebody might run up in the spot first. These Flintstones shot rock work like clockwork. Ludovico technique, so I can't sleep till I'm under coroner sheets with no heartbeat. Tired eyes, pride wide shut by the equipment.
Man, I love when that beat stops and Jehst finishes that bar. Sounds so friggin' sweet.
Work like clockwork. Ludovico technique, so I can't sleep till I'm under coroner sheets with no heartbeat. Tired eyes, pride wide shut by the equipment. Rapid eye movement, now I'm losing my religion. We're all aspiring to a living contradiction. Precog recognition for criminal conviction. We're in a critical condition on this blue marble. The food sparkle, strap the zoot, loop the sample. Set a crude example for the next gen. Collect ends, trying to cop a mansion like the X-Men's.
Man, what a cool friggin' song. Man, I gotta tell you, Verbz held his own, man. He belongs on this track, no doubt. That his verse was just sick, and I gotta give him props, man. He belongs on this track, like I said. Like I said during his verse, Confucius MC, man, by far my favorite track I've heard from him, and I know you cats will probably point me in the direction of some others, and as always, I appreciate that. So if you have something you think I should hear, let me know. And Jehst, man, Jehst is just being Jehst on this. He even that, man, the way he ends his verse, like, you're trying to be that good. You're trying to be that good example for the people coming up behind you. But at the same time, you still got your, you still got your eyes. What do you say? Set a cruel example for the next gen. Collect ends, trying to cop a mansion like the X-Men's. So like a crude example for the next gen is like, you have a bunch of cats coming up, man, in the industry, or even youngsters in your life that you want to give a good example. But often that is, man, it's a crude example, because I mean everyone is no one is perfect, obviously. So the example that I set is going to necessarily not, it's not going to be the same as the example somebody else has set. And as much as you try to be that good example, you're still trying to be in the game. You're still trying to make cash. You're still trying to get that mansion. You're still trying to get yours. While being a positive influence on the ones coming behind you. So yeah, man, that's a cool way to end that track. Overall, I loved it. It brought me right back, man. That's the melody and the distortion and stuff was very cool. Appreciate everyone for pointing me in this direction. Anytime you can get these cats on the channel, man, I'll do it. So tomorrow we got Next. I still have to go through my list and see who's going to be on there. I still don't know. So look for that, as well as the poll for Throwback Thursday. Thanks for everyone coming out. I love each and every one of y'all. Until tomorrow, stay safe and be good to each other.